everybody, Bart here. What? Hello? Who are you? I'm you. Whoa. From the future. I just wanted to bring you these pine cones. Okay. Thanks. Bye. Bye. Pine cones. Okay, we're going to take our epoxy. We'll start with part A, and we will fill the cup to the line. And these cups are kind of thin, so I can see the line through the cup. So that's our part A. This is going to be our part B. And I can see the lines. Woo! I keep forgetting how much thinner the part B is, and it pours out quicker. Okay, so now we got the part A and the part B, and I am going to pour the two of them into a separate cup because I'm making two different colors. That's just kind of my measurement. Okay. That is my part B. Now it's the part A. And once they mix together, I got maybe 10 minutes before this thing kicks off and starts getting hard. All right, let me throw some gloves on. Now we're going to mix this up good. It's looking pretty good. So I'm going to put about half of it in here. And keep the other half in here. Slightly more than half in this one. So what we're going to do is next we're going to add our pigments. And Miss Taylor tells me that green apple would go nicely, so that's what we're going to use. Let me get this open. Okay. Now these are powdered pigments. Let me get a little something to scoop it with. I'm just going to use this little brush. I don't want to use too much. Put that there in and we'll see what happens. Excuse me. Maybe a little smidgy more. But a little bit goes a long way with these pigments. Check that out. Oh yeah. That's more than enough for that container. Cool. And it's got this nice little sparkle to it. I'm not sure if you can see it real well. But it's not completely pigmented. It's a little bit translucent, which is fine. I wanted it to be a little bit translucent. And next one we're going to use is Tropical Sea. And if I can get it open. These little baggies are tough to open, especially with gloves on. Especially if you get a little bit of resin on your hand, it's tough. Okay. It is. There we go. Okay. Now this one here, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle a little bit because I don't want very much of this. Just a sprinkle. Yeah, it looks like plenty. Close that back up. And now we'll mix up this one. Oh yeah, that's looking cool. Very interesting. I'm not sure how well you can see these. Let me see if I could turn this other light on. Maybe you can see it better with that light. That's the one, and that is that one. One of these days I'll get some clear cups and we can make this look a little better. All right, I think we're just going to start pouring and hope for the best. So we're going to pour them kind of at the same time, and they will run down through all the little leaves and whatnot in the pine cone. Cool. All right. That is done. I'm not going to need to put anything on top of that. Just kind of give it a little tap to get any kind of air bubbles to rise to the surface. Yeah, see, they're coming up. Actually, that came out way easier than I expected. I just cut a little slit in the side and the whole thing just slid right out. Perfect. That is some pretty funky stuff going on in there. I really like how the swirls of color, I don't know how well you can see it with the pine cone in there, and there's some air bubbles, but they're not a big deal. This is kind of a piece where air bubbles really wouldn't make that big of a difference. I probably could have put a little bit more pressure on it and gotten rid of some more of those air bubbles. But I think that blank is looking pretty neat. And I can't wait to show you what it's going to look like once we are done. Alright, this particular project requires a 1/2 inch hole. And it says to drill it 1.5 inches deep, which is about where I've got this tape marker. So we're going to put it here on this drill press. And we are going to drill our hole. Get myself centered up. I made a little mark for the center. Like Flynn. Alright, now that I got my hole drilled, we're going to put a little insert in here for the project handle. Okay, so the handle for the project, so I guess the gig is up. It is a pizza cutter turning kit. And it's a pretty nice pizza cutter, it just needs a handle. So that's what we're going to use, our pine cones from the future and this funky greenish resin that we came up with. So this is the insert for the pizza cutter. And it goes in there. And from what I understand, we just crank it in. But yeah, I'm going to put a little CA glue here on the threads. And now we'll thread it in. Put a little more around the edges here before I thread the final bit in. Okay. I am pretty convinced that's not going to come out now when we screw the pizza cutter into it. Handle. Pizza cutter, pine cones from the future. Who'd have thunk it? Alrighty, we're gonna mount this over here on the lathe, and I'll be right back. All right, I got her back on the lathe. What I did was I used the live center here into the recess where the insert is. And I just put some 5-minute epoxy here on this wooden block, and I epoxied it to here, and this fits into the stock. And this ought to give me plenty of support to carve out this handle. Now, I should have plenty of room to cut off because I'm kind of trying to figure out the length of the handle, but I feel like this is, if I cut it off back here, I should be fine. Okay, got my safety gear on. The lathe is fired up. Alrighty, from here this point on, we're just going to play it in high speed, and we'll put a little music in the background because I don't want y'all falling asleep sitting there watching me to cut this thing down in real time. So sit back, enjoy, relax, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, I'm up to about 600 grit, which is where I'm going to start using the wet sanding. And this bottle is just full of water. And the wet sanding I like to do by hand. The dry sanding I'll use that power drill. I'm going back to my Axe Abrasive Sanding Paste. That is not a sponsor or anything like that. I just love his product. It's a great product. Made here in the U.S. Makes it in Pennsylvania. Like I said, I don't get paid to advertise or anything like that. I'm just telling you that I like this particular product. I'm sure there's other products out there that'll do something similar, but this is the one I found that I like, so I'm sticking with it. Let me put this out the way. Also by Axe, Polish Restoring Paste. And this is very similar to the other stuff. It's just a very fine abrasive. And it puts a nice luster on the resin. Or my wood, or whatever I'm working with actually. It's very versatile. I use it in a lot of stuff. Alright, I got it turned around. I got it in my finger jaws. I put some tape on it to protect it so it doesn't scratch it all up. And I'm just going to round this end off. I cut it off with a parting tool, but now I'm just going to kind of clean it up. Okay, that feels pretty good. Now we're just going to sand it, polish it, just like we did the rest of it. Alright guys, that's it. I've got the handle on the pizza cutter. I love the way the pine cone came through with all this green swirly stuff in there. And that is one real beefy pizza cutter. So there is no pizza safe with this pizza cutter around. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. It'll really help me out. Hit that subscribe button, which is the little bell, the like, which is the thumbs up, and you will see me again real soon on my next video. Take care. Have a great one.